Alright, the camera kept shutting off because I think the memory card had been full before, so it reverted to saving on the camera. Now I've reset it back to the SD card, so hopefully it'll run through. But I wanted to share with you the story about the special visitor who came by to wish me well while I was at the NEX, the Navy Exchange, doing the show. She initially came by and bought a set of knives with me and gave me a little bit of cash to make it through. You know, I didn't really want the cash or ask for it, but she felt like she wanted to do that to help me. And then right before I left, on my last day there at the Navy Exchange, she came by again with some gift for my children and me. She basically brought a whole bunch of really nice stuff, including jasmine rice, which is kind of expensive, and a lot of different other types of rice, which I'll have, or I may give to my wife to eat, like yellow rice, which I'm not, really that crazy about, but I think my wife likes it. I don't know. We'll find out. But I wanted to tell you her story because I think it's inspirational, and it's worth sharing. And there's a cop up there. There's something going on with lights. So let me make sure there's not an emergency or something. But the story is basically this. She's kind of a van dweller, but not a full-time van dweller right now, but has a van that she has prepared for van dwelling. And I was really kind of surprised because I thought she, had a regular residence and everything, because I don't know the viewers except for what they tell me or when I meet them and see their own situations. And, people always make assumptions, even myself sometimes, that the people who help other people are like really well off, and that's not always the case, and oftentimes it isn't the case. Usually, my own personal experience has been this, that the people who have shown kindness to me or show kindness to other people are often in similar situations or have been there before and can empathize, not sympathize, but empathize with what's going on. And that's true also for the visitor, the viewer who came by to wish me well and offer gifts. And she told me her story, so I'm going to share it with you just to show you the kind of people that are out there and, how kind they can be despite their own situation. Now, what had happened was she came by on my last day at the NEX and, asked me if I could quickly take a break to come out and talk to her because she wanted to give me some last words of wisdom and some more encouragement and hope, and had some gifts for myself and my children. She didn't tell me that, but I came out and she surprised me with the gifts. But then she told me a little bit about her life, and, so I could understand who she is and maybe a little bit about her background and also why she does what she does. She's with a church group. Her church that saved her is called, I think, Christ the Redeemer. But what had happened was this, with her own personal life. She's older than I am. Not quite sure the age, but quite a bit older than I am, I think. At retirement, age. And she thought, just like most people do, if you're one of those viewers who are still in a sticks and bricks, regular house, that, you have your whole life planned out and everything's going to be hunky-dory. I mean, that's how most of us think, right? That's how I thought my life was going to be when I was a teacher. I know some of you tuning in later are like, I've seen comments about why I don't get educated. I have a college degree. I just can't use it. And also, if you look at the vlogs and stuff, you might understand why it's hard for me to get a job. It has to do with the age. I am older than I look, and overqualified. But we'll talk about that in another episode. Let's move back to where we are with our visitor. She had a pretty nice life. I mean, it wasn't like perfect or anything, just normal, like normal people. And she had a husband and had a house and several kids, grown up and everything. The kids are grown up. Her and her husband are going to retire and live happily ever after, right? That's the dream. But her husband suddenly died, and that left her alone with the house. I guess her children, I'm not sure the full story, but I guess they still lived around the area. I don't know if they necessarily lived with her. But her husband died, and then shortly after, she lost her home. I don't know if she wasn't able to make payments. It might have been on a mortgage or something. I don't know. I didn't ask. But when you're later in your age, you know, you're thinking this is your golden years, you're going to retire, and you suddenly find that you can't work. I mean, you can't work, you're going to lose everything that you ever worked for. And then at the same time, finding out that you have, like, cancer. That's scary. Then having your children tell you they're moving away. I mean, it all happened at the same time. Both of her kids ended up moving out of state. So she's an older lady who found herself alone, homeless, with cancer, and no family support. She was all by herself, and it was a frightening situation. So she was looking at facing surgery all by herself, and still not sure of the future. And then I guess somehow she got in touch with the church that she went to, which was Christ the Redeemer. I don't know that church, but I think it's a Catholic church. And because she says she's Catholic, and they helped to try to reset her life and get her on her feet. So they ended up getting her a van that one of the church members had died. I guess a gentleman had died and left the van to the church. And the church, you know, gave it to her so she would have a vehicle. And she rigged it as a potential home to live in. And she doesn't even have any money or money and stuff. So, like, her van was pretty much set up with stuff that she found that people had thrown away. Like, she had a cooler, an ice chest that she got out of the trash and cleaned out. She had plastic bins, you know, like the little drawers similar to mine. I think she got those from the trash as well. But she was showing me all the items that she had in there that she had collected from various garbage bins, because they're still in good shape. She has cleaned them up, set them up. And she told me that she doesn't live in her van right now because she actually has a place. I guess the church group and stuff was able to help her and get her a room somewhere. But she has the van prepared so that, you know, if anything happens, she knows she's going to have a home. And that's her situation. The other thing is, like, with her cancer, just to show you, I mean, I don't have her picture or anything, and I just want to let you know, it was really bad. She showed me a scar that literally went across her whole neck. Like, you know how you would have a necklace on and it would make that ring around your neck? Well, that's how they cut her, was along the edge of her neck to get rid of the cancer. They had to do that and peel it back, her skin, to get at the cancer and remove it. That's how serious it was. And, you know, despite going through all that and all that sadness of finding herself alone and in this crisis situation in her golden years, she still has a very positive outlook. And she said, you know, what really helped her, and I'm sharing it with you right now just because I think it's an important message. Those of you know, I mean, those of you who know already. Those of you who don't, you can choose to, you know, just tune out or whatever, but the message is still here, and it's something I want to share. It's a very similar message to what I shared with the my Winds of Change channel, you know, before I removed all the stuff with my mess to start all over my situation. But the message has to do with the light and finding the truth and not being afraid. Her message essentially is that, you know, it's oftentimes when we're at our lowest point in our life where we are like at wit's end, at the rope's end, all alone and stuff, that we end up turning to the Father. And by that I mean God. And if you seek God, God will respond. But you've got to seek God with all your heart. And, you know, she shared her love of God. And I can see that in how she treated me. And she wasn't out to preach me or convert me or anything, but tried to give us some pointers about, you know, how it's nice to try to seek church to go to. By the way, just so you know, I do have a church. I don't go all the time, but I try to go when I can, and I take my children when I can. But it is the Calvary Chapel in Melbourne. It's a big, huge church. And I like that church because they're not judgmental, and they let you come and go when you can, you know. So I go there because of the joy it gives me. But she was sharing that with me, so I understood, even though I don't think she realized that I do already go to church and stuff. I just don't go that often, and I haven't been able to with being in the van and stuff. But I try to stream the lessons from Pastor Mark and whatnot when I can. But anyhow, I just wanted to share this story just to let you know that if you ever feel alone and stuff, that you're not truly alone. And all it takes is just a prayer and talking to God. And if you don't believe, it's okay. But just know that you're never alone. Even if you don't believe, God is still there. And I know I might get some flack on this, but I just thought it was worth sharing. And how someone, you know, like, I think to me in a crisis situation herself can be so kind to me and actually try to help me out is very touching. And I'm so grateful, and not so much grateful that she helped me, but grateful that she has joy in her heart. And even though the situation from an outsider looking in, it might look kind of bad or dire, for her, she's happy. You know, she's at peace, and she has love. And she has not only love for herself from God, but she has love for other people, myself included. And she extended that by showing the compassion and kindness. So this was just something I wanted to share just because I talked to her and I felt really good about it. And I think it's a lesson that is worth hearing. I know not everyone who's on this channel believes, and it's okay, you don't have to believe. I'm not out to convert anyone. And, you know, I myself am a sinner, you know, but I try to live by my beliefs and treat people as I would like to be treated. And I appreciate every moment of life that I'm given, and I'm actually happy even in my situation right now, which to a lot of people it might be hard to understand. Like, some people wonder why I'm always so positive and smiling and stuff. It's because I'm still alive. You know, for the most part, I'm fairly healthy. I have some medical issues, just nothing, you know, as bad as some other people have. And even if it was terminal or whatever, I would still continue to live and enjoy my life and take advantage of every moment and every day that I have that I'm still given. My own situation, if you've been following it, I didn't even think I would be alive right now. So for me to be here to talk to you on this channel, goodness, I never thought of being on YouTube. I'm a very private person normally. So to have this opportunity in this forum to talk to people and to share with you my life and my experiences is a blessing. And I'm still not quite sure why I'm still here on Earth, because truthfully, I thought I would have been gone 7 years ago. That's when my divorce occurred. But I thought I was going to be gone, taken away, back with the Father, not through a divorce, and not left here on Earth in this kind of alternate reality for me here, because this life that I'm in right now, since the divorce, is completely different than I had before. My life before was pretty mundane, you know. I was a school teacher, had a fairly normal life. Things were okay, things were good, and somewhat normal. But since that time, my life has completely changed. And I'm not the same person that I was. And I don't expect things like I did before. I try to live by the moment right now, which allows me to be happy, because like right now I'm happy. I'm heading out to Daytona. The van is running well. Things are still good. I'm alive. You know, I have people on YouTube that apparently care for me. So despite the situation where 7 years ago when things fell apart, it seemed like nobody cared, including my family and friends. Now I have people that I think started off as strangers, but I see you guys as family now, rooting for me and trying to help and checking me out and concerned about my own safety. And I feel honored. Truly, I am blessed, because I feel a lot of love on this channel. And it comes through in your messages. It comes through in your postings. And I'm very grateful for that. It also comes through in the visitors that show up. You know, I've had, like I said, several people have come up. Some come up to shake my hands and say hello. And other people come up, like this visitor, this woman, actually came to give gifts. Now, I'm normally not one to take gifts. You know, I kind of, truly, I want this channel to become self-sufficient and myself to become self-sufficient, to make an earning. I don't really want people, you know, sending money and stuff my way, but I won't stop them. And the reason for that is this. If giving, you know, makes somebody feel good because that's what they want to do, they're actually giving and helping. And I will accept that. But honestly, I feel a little bit weird or uncomfortable about it. But there have been cases like where Mark sent me that $20 or whatever it was that night the fan died. If that money hadn't been there, man. Some of you say, well, you are not going to die. You know, I don't know. It was hot. It was like it was like July 4th. You know, and I was out in the car with no air. No fan, no nothing. And it was hot. And I thought I was going to die. But I didn't ask for it. Mark didn't even know about it. He just sent it. And the timing of it, and I don't know if it was God's guidance that did it, but I don't believe anything's ever random. I do believe that people make choices in their life as to what they want to be, and that, you know, tomorrow is not promised for any of us. So if we want to be a certain type of person, the time to be that person is right now, this moment. Don't wait. You know, if you think that you're going to wait till next week or next month or next year or whatever, it might not come. You don't know what's going to happen even a minute from now. So live your life as you truly wish to live. Be the kind of person that you want to be. And know this, that your life is yours. And even though there may be challenging situations and whatnot, and not everyone has the same situations, some people's lives are more challenging than others, each and every one of us have an opportunity to form our own outlook on that situation. And if we choose to look at it in a negative light and feel hopeless, that's a personal choice. I know that for my situation right now, I'm actually very grateful. You know, I'm trying to change the situation to stabilize it for my children and my wife and her daughter and myself, because this isn't really the best situation to be in right now. But honestly, I'm happy to be living the life that I'm living right now. Do I want to change it? Yes. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity right now to try to change it. And say, but you know, you say an opportunity when it looks like things may be stacked against you. Well, the fact is this: whether or not something is stacked against you, if you choose not to try to change at all, then you're stuck in that situation. But while you live and breathe, if you choose to try to make a difference and make your life the way you want it to be, you're at least trying and moving somewhere. And sometimes you do fall back because you're trying. But to me, it's more important to try and fail than to not try at all. Because if we don't try to make our life the way we really want it to be, then our life will never be the way we really want it to be. Unless we just get lucky. You know, some people I know are happy with their life as they are. And I think I myself am one of those, even though there's a lot of sadness right now. And there was sadness that, you know, I've just gone through. But I'm still happy. And I try to share that joy with the viewers on this channel. I try to encourage people and let you know that no matter how dark things seem, that we can choose to look beyond that darkness. So I think I will close this segment here with a saying that I developed when I was a child. I was in a special class. You know, they considered it like a gifted class. But we had to do a notebook, you know, with our thoughts and stuff, like a little journal. And one of my things was a thing that I called the thought of the day. And the thought of the day that I had that's very applicable right now in my own life, even though I came up with this when I was a child, teenager really, is that even on the darkest days, the sun still shines above the clouds of despair. And what I mean by this is this: if you've ever been in a storm where you see that the sky is all black, you know, it looks like a flat black layer hovering above you, and there's rain and hail and snow or whatever. It is really bad. Lightning, thunder, it's like fire and brimstone, like the end of the world. If you've ever flown in an airplane and flew out of that storm, then you would have seen what I saw, which is, as soon as the airplane flies above the clouds, you see the sun shine again. And it looks like a normal and beautiful day. So, it's all a matter of perspective. If you're on the ground and all you see is that darkness with the lightning and the thunder and the foreboding signs of the sky above, you will truly believe it is the end of the world. But if you know, because you've been given insight or knowledge, which I'm hoping I'm giving you right now, those clouds, you're only looking at the bottom side of it. When you fly above that cloud and you have a bigger perspective, you will see that right above the cloud, the sun still shines as it does on a cloudless day. So with that said, I'm going to leave you guys to think about it, and I wish you all a great day, a happy sunshine. And for my special viewer who asked me to try to film a Florida sunrise, if things go smoothly, I hope to be at Daytona Beach tomorrow morning catching that sunrise for you. Until next time, everybody, have a great day.